We have some breaking news. Dana White has just announced that Max Holloway will be taking on Justin Gaethje at UFC 300 for the BMF title. Now, I really couldn't care less about the BMF title, but this is just a good fight, one that's been talked about for a few months now, and Dana put it together, and it will take place on the main card at UFC 300. We still don't know if it's the main event or not. I would assume there is still more to come, but this is a very good fight between two of my favorite fighters, two of the most entertaining fighters, two of the best strikers in the UFC. Max Holloway is coming up to lightweight from featherweight. It's something I've been saying he should do for a while. I've been saying he should move up to lightweight permanently. We don't know if this is permanent or if it's a one fight thing and he goes back down to 145 after, but either way, this is a very interesting fight. The last time Max went up to 155, it didn't go too well. He got beat pretty clearly by Dustin, and this is another very tough fight for him. Stylistically, Justin Gaethje is one of the most dangerous, if not the most dangerous fighter for Max at 155. Max can make some stuff happen on the feet. He does a lot of things technically right. I would say he's overall more technical than Justin Gaethje, especially with his punches. Although Justin is more technical and composed nowadays than he was earlier in his career. Earlier in his career, he's much more of a brawler. Now he likes to counter. He's more patient. He picks out his shots better, although he does still loop on a lot of his punches, which does leave room, especially down that center line, for his opponents to counter him. We saw Charles Oliveira counter him with that right cross. Justin Gaethje doesn't have the best defense. He does keep his hands up, which is good, but he moves back and forth on a straight line. He doesn't utilize lateral movement too much, which is kind of interesting because he does have pretty good footwork. Definitely has better footwork than Max. He can gauge distance pretty well. He can move in and out of range, but he doesn't have the best head movement, so those straight punches, the jabs, the crosses from Max are going to be there. So what Max can do is he can work behind his jab, and as Justin looks to back step away and counter, because that's pretty much his only defense for everything, Max can then follow it up with the right cross. The 1-2s are going to be Max's best combination in this fight, but I think Gaethje has the overall advantage on the feet because although he's less technical than Max, I would say he hits way harder. For every punch Justin lands, it's equivalent to like 5 of Max's. And if anyone is going to drop Max or even knock him out, it is definitely Justin Gaethje. Gaethje's arguably the hardest hitting 155er. The closest guy to ever knocking Max out was Dustin Poirier in their second fight. Max was coming up to 55 from 45, and the power difference was clear between the two. Max actually kept up with the volume, but there was just a clear difference in power. Every time Max landed on Dustin, he kind of just shook it off, but every time Dustin landed on Max, he got hurt. Max got rocked multiple times in that fight to the point where I thought he was going to go down. And if he gets hit by those same shots against Justin Gaethje, then I don't know if he gets back up. Max does have an amazing chin, but Justin Gaethje is by far the hardest hitting guy he's ever fought. He has legit one-punch knockout power, and this is also an older Max, a Max who's been through a ton of wars against guys like Calvin Kattar and Alexander Volkanovski, so his chin probably isn't the same at this point in his career. And being forced to strike with Justin Gaethje, because I do see Max actually attempting some takedowns in this fight, but I don't see him getting them. Gaethje has the leg kicks he can go to. He has some of the best leg kicks in all of the UFC. He knows how to work off them. He likes to set up everything he does off the leg kicks, whether it's his boxing or whether it's setting up the head kicks off the leg kicks, like we saw him use the head kick against Dustin Poirier. And Max has shown a weakness to the leg kicks. We saw in that first Alexander Volkanovski fight, the leg kicks were extremely effective against Max's more boxing style stance, where he's very heavy on that lead leg, which makes it really hard to check leg kicks. Now, over the years, he has gotten better at defending leg kicks. He has gotten better at checking them and avoiding them, but he still isn't great, and it's still a weapon that's going to be huge for Justin in this fight. And they are going to be in the same stance, so that outside leg kick is always going to be open. And then Justin can use those leg kicks to set up the head kick like he did against Dustin Poirier, or use the leg kicks from distance to set up his boxing, force Max to blitz in off the leg kick and counter him. Because at range, Justin is pretty much unthreatened. Max isn't much of a kicker. He does have some decent head kicks, some decent leg kicks, but he's primarily a boxer. Justin also has pretty good boxing of his own. He has a decent left hook, a good jab, a really good uppercut. That's probably his best punch. We saw him land that uppercut on Tony Ferguson. We saw him land that uppercut on Michael Chandler. We saw him land it even on Rafael Fiziev. And not only did he land it, but he put those guys down. He put Iron Chin Michael Chandler down with an uppercut. Same thing with Tony Ferguson. Ferguson, who to that point had an amazing chin. He can feint takedowns and land uppercuts. He can also just shoot takedowns. Max does have pretty good takedown defense, but Justin has decent offensive wrestling. He just doesn't use it. But if he does look to mix in the takedowns, which I think he should, he could absolutely take Max down. He's going to be a lot bigger. He's the better wrestler. He has really good top pressure, but as an early prediction, I'm definitely going to go with Justin Gaethje. This is a tough one for Max. Like I said, he can make some stuff happen, especially down that center line with his volume striking, with his boxing. As I said, I think he's overall a more technical boxer than Justin Gaethje, but the difference in power is way too big. Justin can look for the leg kicks. Those are always going to be open on Max. And then at range, he can use those leg kicks to set up the head kicks. And then when Max blitzes forward trying to counter the leg kick, that left hook is going to be there. That right uppercut is going to be there. He has a good jab of his own. In the pocket, Justin does like to trade, but I think he can afford to against Max because Max doesn't hit too hard, especially at 155. And Justin also has a very good chin. And Max, although he has an amazing chin, he is a little over-reliant on that chin. He has some defense for sure, but he is extremely over-reliant and maybe overconfident in his chin. He keeps his chin straight up in the air. He keeps his hands very low. So those counter shots from Justin are gonna be there. We saw Max get countered against Arnold Allen, and we've seen Justin Gaethje do very well with the counter punching like he did against Tony Ferguson, and he can mix in takedowns with that. So as an early prediction, I am gonna go with Justin Gaethje, and I'm gonna go with him by a 4th round TKO. But with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like. If you are new here or you haven't done so already, it would be greatly appreciated if you subscribed. You don't have to. Leave your early predictions for this fight in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.